Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So I drew this face, and after I drew it, I thought, let me see if I could color or paint it rather with watercolor paints, the ones that I got to try out. And I've never done watercolor faces. I'm not good at watercolor. I'm learning. I love my mixed media, so I love throwing watercolor in that. But I thought, well, let me see what I can do, and I thought I would throw the camera on to see what I did. So I took there is a flush color in there. So I took it because I wanted to do the kind of darker shadows on the outside of the face. It's just my regular paintbrush that I've been using. I did buy 2 watercolor brushes a month or so ago. And I swore I would not use them for mixed media, but I'm going to tell you I did. So that is something that I have to do, is get a couple watercolor brushes. I would have to look up. I don't even know what the heck is out there. So I just did all the darker colors around the outside. And then I wet my brush again, and I am like pulling it to the middle. And you can see the face, and I'm doing it on watercolor. The face, when it's dry, I should have taken a picture. Maybe I'll take a picture and add it in at the end. But I'm just like watering down that middle part of the same color and like pulling it in to kind of have some highlights and a little darker shadows. Like I said, I've never done this, so I'm kind of excited. I mean, I might have done it before, like playing around, but I wasn't as serious, I don't think, as I am now. I want to continue growing, and doing watercolor isn't in my wheelhouse of things to do. I have a hard time grasping a lot of it, so I watch a lot of watercolor videos. And so now I went into a brown color, obviously brown, and I'm doing the outside. It's a bit dark, but let's see what happens. My whole thing is putting it down and then maybe adding a little bit more water to my brush and kind of like feathering it out and moving it out so it kind of blends a little bit better. I don't know. It's going to be like, I was happy with the way it looked right there. Like after I wanted to put on hair, of course I went in and played with it more, but so now I want to do a little bit of color on the cheeks. Well, what do you pick for color on the cheeks? Well, the jerk that I am, I picked magenta. Well, obviously, she looks like she got punched in the face. So you'll see in a second. I'm like, poop. That's not the word I said. But then I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I'm like, let's subtract. So I start subtracting like I do when I do my acrylic paint, where I dry the brush off and then pick up some of that water. Now she really looks like she has a disease, or she looks when I'm in a flare up and you get the rash and everything on your face. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So now I'm pulling it off. Look at that. Pulling it off. And I'm just going to go back to where I was there, because that was a big mistake. But I will tell you this, with mistakes come deliciousness. And as you can see, patting it out, it does give it a nice rosy kind of look to it. So the cheeks look kind of like they got a little bit of blush, a little youthful, I guess, as they say, a little pink blush to them. So at the end, I wasn't too terribly disappointed, but you'll see I make a lot of mistakes, and because I'm not used to it, but for my first time, I'm quite excited. So I'm really digging it here. And then I'm just going in and cleaning up little puddles that might be on there that are pulling the making all the color pool to one part. And I'm going to continue on. And you can see the sun's coming through my window. Sun's coming through my window. It's peeping. It's going to blow out this picture in a few minutes, why I had to stop. But let's see. So now I rinse off my brush, and I'm getting a little bit of blue because I want to give her blue eyes, because I don't want to layer too much color in, but I want it to have color, if that makes sense. So I'm just laying in, and my brush is very wet. Something I have to learn is not to have the brush as wet. I think I'm supposed to have the paint wet and my brush dry to pick that up. I don't know. I'll be experimenting. I know that I watch Gina and Claudia and, oh geez, there's a lot of you on there I watch on YouTube with your watercolors, and you guys explain it and do it, and I take all that information in. Sometimes I even write it down, but do I do it? No, I don't. Maybe it's because I don't like being told what to do. I'm not quite sure why. But, and as you can tell, this little girl, she got some attitude. Wait till you see what I do to her eyebrow that I screw up. But it's all right. My first time, I'm all right. So I'm just wiping off color. And then I go in with some red. And obviously the same problem. I have a lot of water and color on there. So now it blew out on the lip. And I'm going to go in with my dry brush. I don't know if it's my dry brush technique. It might be the way to do it. I don't know, but I do it all the time with the acrylic mixed media when I paint. But I'm doing it here as well. I just draw out the brush and suck up that paint and water and dab, 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 dab. And then I love the color more. So I definitely have to learn a little more on placing color and all. And I'm excited. I have a lot to learn, and I really, I was going to put music to this, and then I thought if anybody out there wants to, is new to watercolor like me or wants to learn, maybe you can learn through my mistakes, because I will have a lot, and I do have a lot. Here I put, what the heck did I do here? I know I went to outline a little darker on the bottom, and then she had like a beard kind of thing or something growing on her chin. I didn't care for it, so I'm going to probably dab that off. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just sit there and look at it and think, start getting mad that that light's coming in. Now I notice when it dries a little differently. Like if you can see up by the forehead, like that wasn't as dark until it dried. Now dark's going in because I got to do some black hair because I wanted to do blue eyes and black hair. And that's just what I felt like doing today. So obviously not enough water on the brush because it keeps drying out. So I keep going back. But again, this is all learning for me. I have no clue. I watch and watch and watch, and I have great tips. But when I'm doing it, I get lost in my own world. But honestly, I don't think the face is as bad. I mean, is bad at all for my first time. And these paints work really, really well. Now, somebody left a comment on the video of when I did the review on them, and they said that they were tempura paints. Tempura? No. Tempura is what I like to get at sushi. Wait a minute. Oh, they said they were some kind of kids paint. I can't remember right now. Tempura? I don't know. Anyway, let's pretend like it's the sushi. Tempura paint, and meaning kids paint and that kind of stuff. I don't know about that. Everything that I've researched on this company and other people that have used this, they say they're high quality pigmented paints. But honestly, I can't speak to that. I just know that I'm using them and I like the way that they work. And for me, this is perfect. It made me sit down to do a face. Do you know what I mean? So whether it's kids or not, I use Crayolas as well. So now this is chalkier than, and I think somebody said that as well. They said that it was, they put more chalk in this, and it is a little bit chalkier than Crayolas, but it doesn't bother me. I think because I love using the Deco Art Americana chalk paint, and I love gesso. Now you can see what I did in, I get lost when I'm talking. You can see I made that a little dark. And I really liked it on the other eyebrow, but I didn't, I'm just pulling it down a little bit for the shading, but I didn't get to lighten that as much as I wanted to, because I was afraid that if I really got that everywhere, it would just stain, and I really just didn't want it. So I'm just kind of pulling it into the hair and down the nose a bit, to kind of, kind of get that there. I'm really happy with the shading on the face. The forehead, however, I got to work on that a little bit because now I'm kind of learning to see how it dries. So I can blend it. Now I can always go back in and blend that out a little bit more because it's more, because it's rewettable, Kelly. And now I'm going to go in and draw the eyes, and you'll see too much water on my brush. And this eye goes black, which normally I love doing my eyes all black. That's how I like to wear my makeup, but I don't necessarily want it on her right now because that's not what I was going for. But I do love that black eyeliner. I do love black eyeliner, but you can definitely see on the other side that it is, and then I'm just tracing outside that eye, which I really dug that. I love the outline of the blue eyes. But I didn't like the outline that I did on the one eye to the right. So I just go in, I wet my brush, and I just go in and try to pick up a little bit just to form it a little bit better and a little bit more shadow. I have to learn and understand that watercolor paint is different than acrylic, and that for it to be a little blown out, kind of like I have it, is okay. So that is it. But thank you guys so much for watching this. And if you guys want me to continue doing my watercolor learning experience on my videos, let me know down below. I'd really appreciate it. And I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.